Jacqueline Harris has a Master in Social Work from Fordham University. She is a producer and talk show host of I Have a Dream Too, Empowering You. She is also the founder and CEO of a nonprofit organization called I Have a Dream Too, Inc. I had to. Just ask me. Jacqueline is an entrepreneur, empowerment coach, motivational speaker, and visionary. She believes that all people can redefine their purpose, their place, and their possibilities through determination, persistence, and tenacity. Jacqueline has begun to crystallize her goals. Without difficulty, she continues to make plans daily to achieve all possibilities. With her supreme confidence, determination, and disregard for obstacles and other people's criticisms, she will carry out her plans. Why? I have a dream too. Jacqueline knows she can dream anything she wants to dream. That's the beauty of the human mind. Jacqueline can do anything she wants to do. That is the strength of the human will. Most importantly, Jacqueline trusts herself to test all limits. This will be Jacqueline's courage to succeed. Come join me on this journey of empowerment because you have a dream too.
Good evening and welcome to my show, I Have a Dream Too, Empowering You. And I am your host, Jacqueline Harris. And so tonight I'm real excited because I got my co-host here, Dr. Tyrone Bennett. He's here tonight.
Good to
Welcome.
Be here. Thank you. Good to be here. Happy New Year.
Yes, Happy New Year. And so we actually are excited because we teamed up together to launch this new project. And it is called What's Your Triple F?
Oh, yes.
Yes. So this What's Your Triple F, and everybody's been talking about it and wanting to know this triple F. And so I like to call it firm, friendly, and fair. What about you?
I usually go friendly, fair, and firm.
Right.
But nevertheless, it works just the same.
Mm-hmm.
You know, triple F, a national need for social change.
Yes.
It's so important, especially what we see and hear in the news today. You have issues, Selma, you know, the 50th anniversary of the March Across the Bridge in Selma. You have issues, Ferguson, what happened in Ferguson with the young teenager Michael Brown, what happened also Erica Gardner in Staten Island. There are some issues where people, just like you and I, human beings, have different attitudes and behavior, whether it be racism or dislike of someone. Triple F, friendly, fair, and firm. It's important that we as humans, we have to live on this earth. We breathe the same air, oxygen. If you cut me, I'll bleed blood just like anyone else. That's a human being. However, some of us have differences in terms of our behavior. So with this triple F, being friendly, your approach, being fair, and being firm, it's important that we as a nation go for a national social change. What is social change? One of the questions may be asked. Well, social change is required because it will build communities. The responses, it'll address the underlying social problems that we have, whether you are an individual, an institution, a community, international or even national levels. Social change is very important. Attitudes, behaviors, laws, policies, institutions for betterness. For example, triple F is needed among our school system. Right now, a lot of parents and a lot of schools are fussing about Common Core standards. In fact, I believe 2 weeks ago in New Jersey, a lot of parents actually boycott that national or that state's exam on Common Core. Businesses, some business may make a hostile takeover and fire their employees. How does the employees react to that? Labor unions, how do they react to that? So there's a lot of emotions that go out there. There's a lot of distaste, a lot of discord. So triple F being fair, friendly, and firm comes into play.
Right.
And I think this is something that is needed in our country, especially when we're dealing with whether it's an international issue. Everyone talks about ISIS, everyone's talking about Iran, and everyone's talking about Israel. That's one area of triple F. The other area could be in your home, domestic violence. Parents or spouses, bullying in the schools, triple F, friendly, fair, and firm. It's a need for that, a social change need.
when we talked about this, I know that it's a concept
Yes.
that we want people to adapt it into their everyday life. Because what's happening is, as you talked about, we have racism, and when we built this project here, it wasn't about race as we talked
Right.
about. You know what I mean? It just happened to be so that the racism is still alive.
Yes, it
And
is.
it is in newsworthy now. So it was a great time. I felt that we launched this, okay, and get people to start thinking about these concepts and how can we. I like to still say fair, firm, and friendly.
It's okay.
But it doesn't matter what order it is. Just
Right.
adapt them into your
Correct.
lifestyle. Because we're seeing things, the bullying, where children need to get along with one another, and teachers need to get along with other be able to function in a classroom,
Right.
and be able to offer the concepts of firm, friendly, and fair, however it is to manage that classroom. So the concepts, I believe, are necessary in order to synergize,
Right.
bring a center of balance throughout this country. We will continue to see, okay, the unrest. Violence will continue in any which way, okay? And so this is not a good thing when we have a generation
Right.
of people that are not only racial, because we're not making it a race, but the inability to get along.
Right.
And this is not good. So,
Right. It's built upon
Yeah.
ignorance. There's a lot of ignorance out there
Yeah.
in society. And let me quote from
yeah,
Cesar Chavez.
you came up with a good quote, which was like the fuel.
Yes.
Okay.
Cesar Chavez, as you may know, was an American farmer, and he was a labor leader, and he was an activist. He said something when he was alive. He said, once for social change, and I quote, once social change begins, it cannot be reversed. You cannot uneducate the person who has learned to read. You cannot humiliate the person who feels pride. You cannot oppress the people who are not afraid anymore. We have seen the future, and the future is ours, unquote. It's so important that this concept of triple F, contact with human beings, being friendly, fair, and firm, everyone's approach, whether you are a supervisor, whether you are a coach on a basketball team, or whether you are a parent, if you want something done, it's always to deal with the other human in a friendly manner. My mother used to say, you can, get more, with honey, draw more flies or with honey. So it's that sweetness, it's that kindness, it's that generosity. It always will work in getting something that you would like to have. And that's being friendly. Then it's always important to have that fairness approach of your fellow human being. Without that, you're not going to get any benefit. If anything, you're just going to spark someone's bad side, so to speak. So it's important to be fair in everything that you do. And then when all else has been said and done, then it's time to be firm. I often say, and I have 4 kids, I often say it's important that your children should understand who is the parent, as opposed to the children thinking that they are on the same level as their parent. So sometimes parents, no doubt, you have to be firm. So triple F, in our case, of a nation that is in need of social change, I think this concept, Jackie, as we launch today and discuss this over the waves, I think it's important that every entity that's out there, and whether it be Radioland, whether it be on television, it's important because this is the time.
Right.
This is the time for social change, and it's needed. It's really needed. There's too many attitudes out there. There's too many misbehaviors out there. There's too many laws that cause people to flame up. And the first thing people begin to do, begin to be radical in their behavior. But with this concept of being triple F, their first approach should be friendly. Your second approach, you should be fair. And if necessary, you can be firm. And as Jackie said earlier, it doesn't matter the order. I'm just used to always being friendly because I'm a friendly kind of guy. So I'm always going to have that approach of being friendly. And then fair, and then firm. But if you have always been in your life, whoever you might be, whatever your particular profession is, or even you're a parent, if you've always been friendly, and been misused, then perhaps you should be firm first and then take it down a step or two and being fair and then friendly. But it all depends on your situation. In the situations that we heard on the news media, what happened in Oklahoma University with the fraternity, or what happened down in Selma some 50 plus years ago, nevertheless, Triple F is the way to go.
Right. And it's another empowerment piece.
Yes.
Okay. It also brings credibility, all right, in terms of even in as a employer, okay, in terms of people who are in jobs and the same of that nature and being firm, friendly, and fair
Yes.
in that employment. But to even take it further, and when I talk to some of my friends in reference to what do you mean by triple F? And the best way that I can explain it, hopefully people that are listening or watching as well will understand it. And again, I'm going to go back to the Eric Gardner case and how the concept of fair, friendly, and firm works out. And so with this particular gentleman is that the officer who approached him, yes, in his job, as we talked about, he has to be firm. That's what a police officer is.
Absolutely.
Okay. But they also knew him from the community. And that they could have used that friendly approach.
Right,
with
he's
him
not.
to get
He wasn't
that,
a stranger.
Yes, he wasn't
to
a stranger to the community. And then at the end, they could have been fair about what they were trying to attain from him. I believe that he would be alive today if if NYPD, okay, because now they have this all overhaul of training. But if they put these concepts into their training, that Eric Gardner would be alive today. So would Michael Brown, okay? Because those type of things, I believe, okay, and this is my opinion,
Right.
all right, and I know I probably get people may disagree, but I believe that those concepts, you could still achieve the same thing and get what you need.
Absolutely.
But we will continue, okay, to make this a national need for social change.
Right.
We will continue to put it out on the airways, and we'll continue to do a tour, a Triple F tour with it as well, to take it around the country, to allow people to hear it in different capacities in our schools, in our businesses, things of that nature, and be able to hopefully achieve some positive outcomes with it.
Right. It's something that you had mentioned about a police officer. With the Eric Gardner case, my brother's in law enforcement, in the city, and I've for years always said about police officers, do they know CPR? And I mentioned this to a friend a couple of months ago. I said, do you know CPR? And they look at me and said, you actually said that to a police officer? Yeah, they know. They should know, saving lives. I said, no. If you look on a police officer's vehicle, it says courtesy, C, P, professionalism, and R, respect. And I think in the Eric Gardner case, if those officers practiced CPR, I believe that brother would have been alive today. Because no matter how you look at it, it's, again, that concept of triple F, being friendly, fair, and firm. In that case with the officer, CPR. It is big, bold letters on their vehicles. Courtesy, first, professionalism, second, and R, respect. They did not respect that man, despite whatever they accused him of selling Lucy cigarettes, I think that was the alleged, but he was not a stranger to those officers.
Right.
So that's one incident in terms of Triple F and how effective it could have been. And it's right there, big, bold letters on the vehicle, courtesy, professionalism, and respect. And I think moving quite along in the realm of education, in our nation, last I looked, my background as an educator, our nation ranks close to 35 in the world when it comes to math and science. And we, yes, No Child Left Behind Act law in 2002. Now we have Common Core standards. There are a lot of teachers who complain about this new movement. There are a lot of parents who are going crazy about their kids getting this Common Core standards, and it's just driving them, they're losing their hair. It's just cannot deal with this new method, this methodology of their kids being educated. Nevertheless, the concept of Triple F comes into play. Now, as I said earlier, some parents actually boycotted, from having their kids take the test in the state of New Jersey. Now, I don't know about other states. I believe New York, it's probably upcoming. But more importantly, if the parents would practice this concept, triple F, being fair, let's hear what the school officials and administrators are saying, the benefits behind Common Core standards. And I think we'll have a smoother outcome when it comes to educating our children.
Right, I think so too. We're going to take a short break and we'll be right back.
Yo, what's up, y'all? This is me, GMC, in the place to be, the greatest MC in history. There will never be an MC greater than me. And right about now, the only place for you to be is with the one and only Madhouse TV.
You are the man.
Let our creativity work for you. We design business cards, brochures, annual reports, newsletters and magazines, menus and programs, flyers and mailers, signs and posters and more. We also do voiceovers. First impressions matter. Make yours count with an expressive voice artist. Distinctive, warm, soothing, natural delivery that can add believability and appeal to any audio project. Contact us to discuss how we can make your project a success. Sierra Graphics. That's info@sierragraphics.com.
Shannon Gates is the #1 fence provider on Long Island, with the most inventory in stock, including vinyl, chain link, and aluminum. Gates offers a custom powder-coated system that prevents rust throughout the life of the fence. We carry fence tools to the trade. We even stock wood, rail, and glass hardware as well. Shannon Gates has our very own patented locking system. The next time you need fencing of any sort, both commercial and private, give Shannon Gates a call at 631-392-4330. You can also visit our website at shannongatesinc.com.
Welcome back. I'm here with my co-host, Dr. Bennett, and we were just sharing and talking and excited about Triple F and the national need for social change and making some movements throughout this country for people to adapt these concepts into their everyday life. It doesn't matter where you come from. Right. It's just adapting them in your everyday life, and how important it is as we coming on the back end of all of the issues, the unrest issues in the media, race, and people fighting and violence and so forth. And there is that, I believe, that complete demand for these type of concepts to continue.
Right.
So,
well, it's very important that people understand that there is a bad system that's out in our country. It's a system of ignorance. It's a system of people who are uneducated. And I think we need to change that in the midst of this movement of this national social change by the concept of Triple F, being friendly, fair, and firm. I think if we educate people more, yes, it's important that we need to know about reading, writing, and arithmetic, but then how do I treat my fellow human being? First and foremost, it's important that we understand our self-awareness and self-knowledge. I've often tell former students of mine, when I had some students and they were my students, I said it's very important for you to understand who you are because no one knows you better than you. I mean, well, maybe mom and dad, but no one knows you better than you. And I think a lot of people today don't have what it takes to have that self-awareness or that self-knowledge piece. And I think once you understand who you are, I mean, if you lack understanding, then one should, search for it. And I think that will lessen the idea of a lot of people who are upset and angry with the world, as if the world owes them something. And then they have this mixed feeling that they just have this infiltration of hatred for no reason, no apparent reason other than themselves being ignorant or uneducated. And I think that will be a key factor in this movement that we're going to be doing, is to a better understanding of oneself, is getting this concept of triple F if you definitely get yourself educated.
Yeah.
And I'm not just talking about going to college. I'm not talking about finishing high school. I'm talking about understanding your self-awareness and self-knowledge for your fellow human beings.
Right, and it goes with everything in terms of, I just did a show last night on domestic violence with
okay.
many tags, and
Right.
from a social work standpoint, is that what's happening is, and again, in our nation, people are losing the understanding of what their value is
Right.
and what their self-worth is, and feeling that this is what I deserve, this is what I have to put up with, I have no resources, and stay in such relationships and be abused,
Right.
terribly abused, and so forth. And so the greatness of Triple F and the concepts, it fits anywhere.
Right.
And so that's why we're going to begin workshops
And seminars.
and seminars, conferences, events, whatever you want to call it, to get the movement out there, to make some changes that are necessary. Again, in our school system, the epidemic of bullying is terribly on the rise, and
Right.
every time, whether you see it on Facebook or any social media or in the news, you have a child who's committed suicide.
That's
Okay,
it. Yeah.
and the interpersonal relationships amongst kids is poor, and so these concepts perhaps maybe be taught in the educational system, even the dialogue, okay, happening, the firm, friendly, and fair, just like they teach kids at age 2 the good touch and the bad touch. You know what I
okay.
mean?
Right,
That
right.
type of thing. It becomes common knowledge, so it's something that's spoken about. But definitely, I think that we spoke about putting out these workshops and seminars. So we want people to be able to look out for that. You will see a lot of this information showing up on social media. There is a what's your Triple F page on Facebook.
Facebook, right.
We want people to leave their comments, and you know, hey, what is your Triple F? Have you put these concepts into your everyday,
Right.
into your own personal being, into your children, into your family?
Or your organization.
Or
Does
organization.
your organization
Exactly.
have a triple
It's-
F? What is
right.
it?
Because we realize things don't run smoothly as we want them to be. We
Right.
want people to be better people.
Right.
And there's a lot of things that we know bring them people down.
Right. And one of the things that you perhaps heard, you are what you eat. There's a lot of people who hang with the wrong crowd, and then that bad person, kind of rub their way on you. Bad influences. And that's another thing that we find ourselves in today's society, where a lot of bad influences, whether teenage kids are in middle school or high school and they're hanging with the wrong crowd, it kind of rub off on them because everyone wants this attention. A lot of children, and I work with thousands and thousands of kids. I work with 3 universities and assisted in over 20 schools, in terms of elementary, middle school, and high school. A lot of personalities, a lot of characters, and it's important to understand no one child is the same. Sort of like fingerprints, everyone has a separate identity in terms of their fingerprints, but it's same with a lot of kids. If they see someone is doing something bad and they get all their attention, I don't know if you had, when growing up, a class clown, in the classroom, and he gets all the laughs and everything like that. But then someone may see that as to the negative, to the point whereas they think this is the only way they can have and build upon their own self-esteem, because they feel if I can steal what that person is doing to make me popular or make someone love me, and that's the way they think they can become, self-worth. But it could be to the negative. So once again, Triple F comes into play. And I notice a lot of kids today have low self-esteem.
Yes.
And they have no way out. So with this concept of Triple F, they can have, a way out. They are somebody. Every child, I always said this to a lot of administrators and superintendents, every child can learn. Now what about the adults?
That's a different story.
That's a
sometimes.
different story,
That's
yes.
more of a challenge than the kids are. You
This
know what I
is
mean?
true. This is true.
Some set in their own ways and not sometimes receptive
Right.
to good stuff. And so just like the ALS challenge that went across the nation and people were pouring water, ice cold water over
Right.
themselves, and it took on took on this wave of stuff throughout the country.
Right.
This is what we want Triple F. We're hoping that we'll be able to have that same kind of movement
Absolutely.
as ALS, and it has a meaning and a value to it, and it can change people's lives when you adopt those type of concepts of the firm, friendly, and fair. And
Yes.
as we say, not necessarily in that order,
In that order, correct.
but depending on the environment and the circumstances you're in, you can choose any one of those three or all three to make changes and improve outcomes. So those workshops are coming forth soon, so we want to encourage people to be able to,
Oh, yes.
stay abreast of what's the Triple F Facebook page.
Yes.
It will get on Instagram and so
Twitter.
forth, and Twitter, and we'll be tweeting about it. Hashtag will be Triple F. So we want people to be able to be a part of it. You
Yes,
know?
and we're looking for, from your local community to talk about the Triple F concept. I mean, from your local community to the state, to government, even to the White House. Because you see what's happening in Congress,
Right.
with our President Obama and how he's being, treated, and then trying to do his job. And then you have law enforcement trying to do their job. You have Democrats who don't really necessarily like the Republicans. Then you have the independents. Again, Triple F. That concept will work for politicians.
Right.
It'll
It's
work
universal.
for businesses, institutions. Right. It's universal.
Right.
And I think this is something that will help our nation, help our communities, to be better. We're in the 21st century. Technology has increased. There are a lot of styles in clothing and music, have increased. And let me just add this part, because, we all know what happened with Blurred Lines,
Yes.
in the news, with
Yes.
Marvin Gaye's song and his kids, and how they had sued. Now there's talk that they may want to have, Pharrell and
Be part of the
to do a concert,
yeah.
with the family, Marvin Gaye family. So hopefully Triple F concept, if they're listening, could emerge, so there won't be any animosities because the gay, family was triumphant in the lawsuit. So they're hoping that, Pharrell and company would somehow come together this spring in a concert. It'll be really nice. So again, Triple F works no matter what the event, the situation, firm, friendly, fair, or friendly, fair, firm, however you want to put it. The concept of Triple F is so needed in our nation today.
I agree, and we will keep the challenge going. So we're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back.
Okay.
You know you already want a Toyota, but when you want more from your Toyota store, you want Smithtown Toyota, where every Toyota comes with Smithtown Toyota's Toyota for Life program, giving you lifetime New York State inspections, lifetime 10% discounts on all parts and service, 2 years of complimentary oil changes, 2 years of scheduled maintenance, and more, all at no cost to you, plus low clear-out deals on every Toyota in stock. Get more from your Toyota store. Hurry to Smithtown Toyota.
Could switching to Geico really save you 15% or more on car insurance? Do dogs chase cats?
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Are you planning an event and want to include entertainment, but you're not sure where to turn?
Act1Entertainment.net has provided over 1,500 events with quality, affordable live entertainment at private parties, corporate affairs, festivals, bike rallies, and more. Act One will fit into your budget. They're friendly, reliable, and do all the legwork for you. They take all major credit cards. Log on to Act1Entertainment.net for a free, no-obligation price quote or call 631-758-3505 for a brochure.
You'll be happy you did.
Welcome back to I Have a Dream Too, and here with my co-host again, Dr. Bennett, and we are just on this triple F movement. And want to keep the challenge going and create it as a national need for social change. And I like to say, as I'm going to continue to say, firm, friendly, and fair. That's the way I'll remember it.
That'll work.
But you know, as we said, we want to do these workshops. We want to do these seminars. We want to do conferences, forums based on this triple F challenge. And so one of the things in terms of, we want people to begin to start thinking about some of the questions we'll be asking during this, event.
Yeah, one of the things that's very important, as I mentioned earlier, about human behavior, a lot of people don't understand perhaps themselves or others. Many years ago, I remember talking at a conference about people skills. As a leader, I'm a former director, been a manager, and I supervise people. And one of the things my boss wanted to know, can I maintain a group of people to do a particular task? And as I said before, there are a lot of personalities, there are a lot of characteristics that people have. No set person has the same personality. But as a leader, as their boss or their manager, I had to be that leader. So one of the things that we're going to do in our upcoming workshop is look at how one can develop their self-awareness or their self-knowledge. And I want to ask you all a question. Have you ever thought about your personal beliefs and values? Do you have any? I remember telling a lot of my students when I worked at Stony Brook University, if you haven't planned what you're going to be or who you're going to become in the next 5 to 10 years, you need to start planning now. Because you're only going to be at this university for 4 years, maybe 5. After that, you're out. That's it. So planning what you want to do or become is very important.
Well, even before you even go further, that even starts way when you're young, and creating the vision.
Yes.
And the future. And working in the field of child welfare for so many years, a lot of our kids don't have that. There is no vision. There is no future. So, I mean, these concepts, of course, is something definitely that even at a young age, because it should be part of everything that you learned in kindergarten. They tell you to play fair, share, clean up after yourself and all of these things. But now we're going to teach you to be firm, friendly, and fair. And at the same time, by doing so, because your behavior is based on where you fit in at. And how you want to be liked. And kids at a young age, I'm going to sit in this group, okay, because this is where I feel comfortable and people like me. And so those concepts of, behavior is driven. And it would be helpful to even start it at that younger age where we can begin to see where we can make differences even at a younger age, having kids to start dreaming.
Oh, yes, that's very important.
And finding out, okay, what is going to be my purpose? What is it that I want to do? And we see in the news, we see young kids that are prodigies, you know what I mean? And they entrepreneurs and do very well. Well, what makes them so different than, say, Johnny and Susie that, have the same upbringing and so forth? So we want to make more kids, okay, to be, more prodigies.
Right. I mean, it's very important, because that goes into the emotions, and here's another question, that we'll be talking about is your emotions. How do you relate to others and yourself with your emotions? How many people can actually control themselves or control those emotions? That's a question that you may want to ask yourself. The other thing is motivation. A lot of students, I say students because I'm an educator, a lot of students, or I would say a lot of people aren't motivated. They're not motivated. They're lackadaisical. Okay, they may be lazy, okay? They may be procrastinators. I often said many years ago to a lot of students that one of the worst diseases a student can have, and I asked, does anyone know? Someone said HIV. No, I'm not talking about that. The worst disease a student can have is procrastination. Putting things off that you should be getting started now, but put them off for later on and then slowly work toward it, because time waits for nobody. So that's one of the things we're going to look at, as we do these seminars and workshops, is motivation. How can you motivate oneself with and through this concept of triple F? And another thing is, can you walk the talk? A lot of people often said many years ago, talk is cheap. Action speaks louder than words. A lot of people, I can be fair, I can be friendly, I can be firm. It's just words. But what about your actions? That's important. So that's another topic that we're going to be talking about.
Yeah, I just want to go back to the emotion piece, because
Sure.
that's real important, because it is about your EQ.
Okay.
Emotional intelligence and emotional regulation, and putting these type of concepts does require you having some control over your emotions, which we realize now due to the high levels of violence that occurs and so
Right.
forth, that
Okay.
the inability for people to control their emotions and respond, in a better way. So working in these workshops, as we talked about,
Right.
it's important that we do talk about the emotional intelligence, getting people to regulate their emotions in so many different ways, in so many different capacities, in so many different organizations, schools, businesses, on the streets,
Right, right.
those type of things. So I just wanted to go back to, the EQ, the emotional intelligence, emotional regulation. Sometimes even people need safety plans.
True.
They need to walk around with and identify a few things that they need to keep themselves at baseline,
Right.
because when you're feeling disrespected, you may fire off with the mouth and start cursing out people.
Right.
In some
It has
cases,
happened, yes.
some people get shot and killed
This is
off
true,
of that,
yes.
okay? So maybe having a safety plan that can tell you, let me go take a walk, take a couple of deep breaths, or something that will deter you
Right.
from taking that possible action, something negative. So a lot of it is just removing a lot of the negativity that exists throughout the
Right.
country and getting people to think a little more clearly, a little bit more confidently, and so that they can have positive outcomes in the things that they deal with.
Well, let me just say to the audience that we're talking on these concepts of triple F, but keep in mind, kids need to know and understand. So we do have workshops that we're going to implement for teenagers, because we're living in a society where teenagers are rampant, running wild. There was an incident in the papers not too long ago about an incident where teenagers attacked a man and robbed him. And you see a lot of young people doing this. So there are issues that will affect adults. Yes, we will definitely deal with that throughout our workshops and the seminars. But then we want to have seminars and workshops for teenagers, because it's a lot, especially when it comes to bullying. We want to address that with teenagers only. So parents, just keep in mind, there will be a call for you to send your child, your children, to a workshop on Triple F, a national social change, which is so important. But we want to address that for the children, not just adults.
Right, and I'm glad we talked about the teenager piece and brought that to light as
Yes.
well. And again, if we look at what's happening in the country and you open up the paper, you hear on the news, you're hearing that males, at a younger age are being sent off to jail, not to, juvenile detention. They're sent to, regular prison and so forth. And
Right.
again, these same concepts as a way of rehabilitation in the
Right.
jail system, prison system, is another way to teach people, inmates and so forth, how to react responsibly in the
Right.
community, and reposition themselves in the community, because we know there's a high recidivism rate.
Right,
And
yes.
so forth. But our children, as always, are the most vulnerable. And the things that are happening is just spiraling to where, you're seeing 17 and 18-year-olds off to jail. Okay?
It's sad.
And it's not for just a year. It's some 10, 12, 15, 20 years, lifetime,
Right.
these type of things. So if we can really, really get people to come on board with us, as we would
Right.
like them to do,
Yes.
to take this challenge even further, to a point where we can get into, our prison systems, and we can get into, even our politicians
Right.
to take on this challenge and move this so that we can have more peace.
Well, that's the plea that we're also saying too. Just like what they did, with the fundraiser, the dumping of the ice cold water on the head. We want to put out the challenge. What is your triple F? Whether you're a politician, whether you're a mother, a parent, I would say, whether you're a business person, or whether you're a teenager in school. What is your triple F? For national social change. And one of the things that I think will really transpire this movement is another topic is learning to serve others. I think you really build upon that self-awareness and that self-worth if you learn to serve others. The Bible speaks in terms of do unto others as you want others to do unto you. If you learn to serve others, you will feel better as a person, or you should. Number two, it makes you not only stronger, it builds upon your courage, for your fellow human being. So learning to serve others is very important. It makes you that better a person. So with the concept of triple F, I want to throw that out. We want to throw that out, to all of you. What is your triple F for national or even in your community social change? What is your triple F? And send it to us. Get on Facebook, our Facebook account, Twitter, and just share some of your triple F, some of your experiences, down through the years. Perhaps you came up with some ideas that saved the day at your job, save the day, whether it's in church, whether it's in school or the playground. What was your triple F?
Right. And also just going on the Facebook page and being able to, ask, how can we have this triple F concepts in our community, in our church, at places of where people gather, even in restaurants and things of that nature, as managers to subordinates. And you're talking about serving, all right?
Yes.
And it's not just serving food, but again, there is a whole piece that goes there in terms of proper etiquette and so forth as a server. But we do need to really get into, it has many different components to it, and being able to serve. Again, our youth don't have that.
True.
It's not there at all. So again, we want to be able to just, bring a center of balance, a center of peace, a center of calmness. And people walk the streets sometimes, a lot of times maybe in fear.
True. Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
In
This
fear.
has happened.
So we want to make the streets calmer because now people are taking on the concept of, I'm going to be friendly, all right, because I know Mr. Jones, all right, who's been here for 50 years and so forth. We're not going to just sucker punch him and keep running. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because they have received this type of information. So whatever we can do, as like we said, we teamed up, we put it out there, we're putting it out there this evening, and you continue to hear about it on the show and so forth on Facebook and Twitter, etc. And just, make it happen. It's, like you said, just do it.
Just
you know
do
what
it.
I mean?
Yes.
Just do
absolutely.
it. So,
Absolutely.
So we're gonna make things happen. There was something else that you wanted to mention too. I know about the triple F concepts and so forth. Go ahead.
Well, one of the things I wanted to talk about also, is so much to say, is a commitment. You have to have a commitment for yourself, to yourself, and have a commitment, if you're a parent, to your children. Have a commitment for change for your community, a commitment for change for your spouse. I mean, we hear quite often of domestic, violence, but with this concept of triple F, you want to have a commitment. You want to learn to serve. You want to develop a self-awareness and self-development and knowledge. You want to check your emotions, your attitude. All of these things cannot really be useful if you're not committed.
That's true.
So it's important that you have a commitment with this triple F concept for a national or within your circles social change. It is so important. Without that, it's just wasted energy, wasted time. And I said earlier, I believe time waits for nobody. So if you would take it upon yourself and commit yourself to this movement, to this concept of Triple F. Because we're going to come to a city near you, a state near you. You're going to see us. You're going to see, this movement in words. You're going to see young people saying, what's your Triple F? I want to see politicians say it. What's your Triple F? That type of thing. Because I think this is the time and the age for change in our nation, in our country. The baby boomers are getting older and retiring. The young folks are very inspiring, and they're growing. So for the future of our nation, Triple F is the way to go. And we need this nation. Our nation needs a social change. There's too many things, too many negativity going on out there, and something has to be done. Because if not, and I remember one of Michael Jackson's song, Man in the Mirror, men or women in the mirror, change starts with you.
Right.
And what we're saying with Triple F, we want you to be committed to it. We're committing ourselves, to give this seminar, to give these workshops, to put it out there, this concept of Triple F, friendly, fair, and firm. Triple F, let it be on your lips, Triple F. So if someone tap on you and you see maybe 3 Fs, yes, fair, friendly, or firm. Take a break. And let me just say this. If you're going to find yourself upset with someone, just take a deep breath and just think, Triple F fair, Triple F friendly, Triple F firm. You'll be surprised. They used to say years ago about time out. Just take time out. Time out with your kids, so you don't hurt them, that type of thing. So if you just take time out, Triple F, take a deep breath and just think, was I fair with that person? Was I friendly with that person? Did I really have to be firm with that person? Just think about that concept for social change in your circles.
Right. And I like that too, because you talk about the commitment, which is necessary. And so getting the language and putting it on the tip of your tongue in terms of, people sitting over lunch at work and asking, what's your Triple F? And being able to explain it and making it something that is an everyday language and an everyday tool that is used and adapting it and so forth. So the commitment is necessary because, like you said, if you're not committed to it, it ain't happening.
That's true.
Okay? And it just goes down the drain. So we want people to be able to commit to this and talk about, what is it, the commitment that they're going to make with it.
Right.
Not just say, I'm committed and not do anything, but what are you going to do to help move this movement, this national need for social change? It is, like you said, a necessity. It is necessary. It is important. It is vital, okay, for the continuance of a generation.
Absolutely.
Okay, where we're seeing all kinds of stuff going on. You look at reality TV.
Oh, yes.
Reality. It's so many places that this concept fits. Poor Hillary Clinton. Listen. Okay, listen.
With the email,
really. Okay, that's been all over the news. Are you serious?
Right.
But hey, what's your Triple F? Really, have you been firm and friendly and fair with Hillary Clinton about the doggone emails?
They just fear having the first
anything
woman
they can get,
president
really.
of the United States. I think they're just trying to put anchors down on her and discourage her. But I'm pretty sure she's going to take a deep breath and say one day, my Triple F. This is my Triple F.
Right.
Taking a deep breath. I'm going to be fair. I'm going to be friendly. I'm going to be firm. But I'm not predicting here. But her being perhaps the first woman president of the United States, I pray that she put on her lips between now and September Triple F, because that's what it will take to run this nation. To have our concept that we're talking about. Triple F is very important. When I thought about this concept, and I shared it with Jackie. It's chapter 4 of one of my books coming up late this spring, The Anatomy of a Model Student. And I divulged a chapter on Triple F, appealing to students, and again, some of the things we talked about tonight. But I think this movement that we're launching on Triple F will be the 9th wonder of the world.
Okay.
Because it will make a difference. It will make a difference in your life. It will make a difference in your community lives. It will make a difference in the political arena. It will make a difference among our police force, even our fire department. I remember back in New York City a couple of years back, there was a rivalry between the police department and the fire department. You know, Triple F, the concept will work in the sporting industry. It'll work, again, in political arenas, school system, institutions, businesses, you name it. Triple F is the way to go.
Right. And even racial profiling.
Yeah, oh
definitely.
yes.
Okay, so that's another hot topic. But it is something where the concepts can definitely fit into that piece because that's another newsworthy piece. And so it fits in anywhere. And that's the beauty of this concept.
Yes.
So we want people to ask, what's your Triple F? So we're going to take a short break.
Okay.
And we're going to be right back with some closing remarks.
All right.
$1.3 million women are victims of physical assault by an intimate partner each year. According to the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence, the majority of cases aren't reported to the police. Most people who are in an abusive relationship don't even know they're in one. The truth is, all abusive relationships boil down to one thing: control.
How do you like it? My new dress.
Are you out of your mind? You look like a prostitute. We're not going out with you dressed up like that in public.
But what am I supposed to wear?
Wear something decent. You can't wear that out in public. We're going to be late. Get back in there and pick a different outfit. I'm going to go run some errands. I'll be back in 30 minutes. Please be ready, okay?
Fine, I'll change. Fine.
Abuse is not always physical, leaving wounds that are visible on the outside. Emotional abuse is just as painful, only these wounds are hidden on the inside.
Are you out of your mind? You're crazy. You look like a prostitute.
Know that abuse is abuse, no matter what the form.
Look at me.
Oh my God, what's wrong with me?
Physical abuse scars the body.
I just wanted to love me.
But mental abuse scars the mind.
What you just saw was an example of a relationship that is emotionally abusive. Nobody has the right to tell you how to dress or how to act. If someone really cares for you, they won't tear you down. They will build you up.
How do you like it?
Wow. You look great. Fantastic. But then again, you look great all the time.
Thank you. I was hoping you'd like it. It's my new dress. I bought it just so we could go out tonight.
You look stunning.
Thank you. But I think I'm going to take a sweater just in case it gets cold tonight.
Great idea. I'm going to take one too. Let's go.
All relationships are not perfect, but a healthy relationship is when two people bring out the best in each other and have each other's good in mind. Take your time to know someone instead of rushing into something. It is better not to involve yourself with an abusive person than to try and get out of a domestic violence situation.
If someone is abusive to you and you need help, please call the Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-SAFE. That's 1-800-799-SAFE. They have highly trained experts available 24/7 who will speak with you confidentially and offer information regarding the unhealthy aspects of your relationship, resources, or immediate support for victims to find safety and live lives free of abuse. Domestic violence affects us all.
It affects us all.
It affects us all. 모두에게 영향을 줍니다.
Che ci ricarte tutte.
It affects us all.
Domestic violence.
Welcome back. Wow, this has been a fun-filled,
Where have the
important
time
hour.
gone?
Right, just flew by. So, like we said, we'll come back. We're back here for some closing remarks, and as we said, we want to hear what your triple F on
Yes.
the mouths and people talking about it in dialogue, etc. It is a commitment, as we
Yes.
spoke about. It's a necessity to change your attitude, your behavior, and your tone in the way that you speak to people. So, you know, we wanted people to go to our Facebook page.
Yes, please.
What Your Triple F is the Facebook page. We want you to leave your comments. We want you to be able to tell us what is going to be your commitment in joining this nationwide need for social change. We want to also for you to see when our workshops, our seminars, and when we will be coming to a city near you.
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
You know, and also our Triple F email address, triplef_f@gmail.com. And again, it's very important that, you know, you take your life very serious, and the person, your neighbors, you know, that's with you or living by you, or your children, you know, or if you're in a school, if you're a teacher, you know, you have children there. If you're a business owner, you have employees. If you are a politician, you have constituents. You know, so no matter how you look at it, we are all humans, you know, on this earth that God's given us in the time in which we have. So the question, what is your triple F? Can you be friendly with someone? Can you be fair? Can you be firm? Can you show where your commitment of being that kind person and spread that out? Do you want change, social change in your community? You got to ask yourself those questions. It's a lot of hate out there in the world. There's a lot of indifference out there in the world. There's a lot of greed out there in the world. But there's very little commitment of social change for your betterment of your human being, of your neighbor, your fellow human being. I think it's very important that you take this very seriously. Everyone wants life, or everyone should want life and have it more abundantly. You should want to be the best that you can be. So why not ask yourself that question and answer that question? What is your triple F? And share it with us on our Facebook page. What is your triple F? You know, and send us your questions and your comments. You know, whether it be on the Facebook page or even our Gmail account.
Right. Also, if you want to reach us as well, you can call 516-945-9390 and share your story or ask your questions in regards to triple F. When perhaps you want us to be able to come out to your organization on a professional development day in the schools, anything where we can bring this knowledge, education, and awareness. And of course, I think it provides more safety for people in any aspects of their lives. And so that's why it's a need for social change that has to occur. So nonetheless, Dr. Bennett, all right, what's your triple F?
What's your triple F? I want to see the betterment in you. I want you as a human being, like I'm a human being, to be treated with all dignity and respect. So if you're an officer, do you know CPR, courtesy, professionalism, and respect? If you are a teacher, you have kids. If you're a parent, you have children. If you're a businessman, you have employees. What is your triple F? Fair, friendly, and firm.
Great. I think that was perfect. So, again, we'll be here next Wednesday for I Have a Dream 2, Empowering You. I want to thank Dr. Bennett coming on as my co-host. And again, we're looking for this movement and exciting. Again, if you want to know more about I Have a Dream 2, Empowering You, or you have an empowering story you want to share, go to my Facebook page, Jacqueline Harris, or you can go to I Have a Dream 2, and you'll be able to post any information there that you desire. So again, we'll be back next Wednesday, and it's been a great evening. So thank you so much again, Dr. Bennett.
Thanks,
and we'll be asking people, what's your triple F? Because we know you have a dream too. Good night.